Meloche here with my very good friend Bella St. John to talk about GAI, ChatGPT, all things going on in the world of artificial intelligence and how it relates to doing our work and how it relates. We're going to be really practical today. I'm going to dive into an example, Bella, on really how to use ChatGPT in my field, in my specialty, the area I've been most focused on, which is software development. And Bella is my friend who's literally a world traveler. I'm not even sure which country you're in right now. We won't ask you to say. And Bella and I have developed a program. Bella really developed it almost 2 decades ago on leadership training and really how to get leaders to think critically and to get leaders to think critically, literally about how to improve their workplace. It's like the key idea in the peer mentoring program that Bella created that I found was just great for teams doing Agile. So we're really excited about GAI because we see this as the ultimate opportunity when we're running one of these programs for any manager or anybody who's participating to instantly be more productive by leveraging these tools. But it does require critical thinking. Is that a good enough introduction, Mela, to like?
It is, and actually, so off screen, because I've had a number of people. I'm working with Tom on this particular project, and I've had a number of people email me and say, "Well, we knew of Tom, but who are you? What's your background?" And so I said, "Tom, can you just give it like a little bit of an intro?" And I'll put up a web link as well. But going to the peer thing, and with AI, I mean, that's why I spent so long, pretty much on the heels of my latest AI book, but really focusing this peer program to turn it into now an AI enabled leader peer program that's an applied MBA. But so if you're interested in that, just contact us separately. But what we have today, because it's a very short, sharp session. So what we have today, we're really going to dive more. We've been diving more into some of my particular passions. Today, we're going to dive more into one of Tom's. So Tom, I'll hand back over to you because today we're really going to do a deep dive, really short deep dive into prompts.
And I'm going to, but very practical prompts. I hope.
Yeah.
I hope I'm going to move you back over so I'm staring at you where my camera is. I'm sharing my screen. I'm going to actually use 3.5 for this because I want to go so fast and show so many prompts that I didn't even want to wait for 4 to render. But also 3.5 is really good. It's like we keep talking about 4, but 3.5 is really good. 20 years ago, Bella, when we created Menlo Innovations, the company featured in Joy Inc., we created an example called My Wedding as a way to write user stories and to think about when we were teaching classes. And so I'm going to see like the type of work that I know takes months to do normally. I'm going to see if I can do it in like the next 10 minutes talking to you. And that's what I think is going on here. And I'm going to start with I'm going to start with a different prompt here. I'm going to just start not telling ChatGPT anything else. I'm going to say, write a vision for a new My Wedding app. Boom, off it goes. Now, I've been thinking about this example for 2 decades, so I can tell you just how amazingly good these answers are. Our vision for the new My Wedding app is to provide couples with a seamless and personalized wedding planning experience. Our app will revolutionize the way couples plan their weddings by making it easier, more efficient, and more enjoyable than ever before. Right? It's going to include, and I'll just skip, personalized planning, seamless collaboration, interactive planning, smart budgeting, memorable experiences. At My Wedding, our vision is to create an app that empowers couples to plan their dream wedding with ease, joy, and confidence. With our innovative features and user-friendly interface, it's just insane to me how instant and how good that was. If you were, say, going to create this app, I'm in Michigan. I'm all for targeting locally. I'm going to create a Michigan My Wedding app. Focus in on Michigan weddings. Boom, done. And now here's where, when we talk about critical thinking skills, your critical thinking skills would have you read these answers, edit them, modify them to make them more your own. But and to see if they make sense, right? And see which parts, like you could continue to work over these. As I'm getting going though, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna accept its Michigan answer. I could zoom into Ann Arbor, and when I do zoom into, say, Ann Arbor, Michigan, you'll actually notice it customizing the answers for a more liberal, more cosmopolitan, but also university town. It will customize the answer. It knows what Ann Arbor is.
Because bearing in mind, it has been trained largely on social media.
It knows the world. And I'm gonna, like, when I'm doing one of these things, I like to create personas, like who are the target users who I'm building for. Great, write a brief list of personas for my wedding. Well, here's a list of few professional personas from my wedding: the busy professional, the do-it-yourself bride, the destination bride, the budget conscious couple, the timeless romantic.
That's me.
Then I'm gonna say, since you're the timeless romantic, right?
I'm the timeless romantic.
For the bride persona, for the timeless romantic, right? A detailed description. And now it's going to do, just going to dive in, right? All of these ideas about what the timeless romantic wants. For entertainment, the timeless romantic bride loves the idea of a live band or a string quartet. That's so you, Bella.
That is so me. The only thing that it's not giving me is the timeless romantic groom.
The timeless, yes. Well, still a hunt going on.
Yeah.
Right as a, right, I'm just going to say right in persona format. I haven't tested this one before, but we'll see if it does like the final things. Yep, it's giving you now a name. It's you're Sarah, 27. You're a marketing manager. You're working in Detroit, Michigan. It's going to tie all of the prior prompts in. When I read these personas, because I teach a class on personas at the University of Michigan, when I read these personas for things that I've studied and taught for years, they're brilliant. Because
and being the timeless romantic, it does tie in. I was scanning as it went through, and I do give it a passing grade for having captured the timeless romantic.
And I'm going really fast because I want to get these prompts in. This is
we have this amount of time, Thomas.
It's a weird journey we're on. But speaking of a journey, I'm going to ask it to write a detailed journey map. These are all things that I would normally do with a whole team of people that at Menlo we call high-tech anthropologists or solution anthropologists. They would work on this. A team would work on these things for days. And they're basically not going to be much better than what you're seeing here. So here's a actual journey map. A journey map is sort of walking the persona through the various things that they're doing. They're going to do research and inspiration. They're going to do vendor selection. The fact that it can do this lets you understand that it's doing this for every prompt I ask in here. By specifically asking it to pull the journey, though, I'm making sure that context is there. And here's the journey map, right? The wedding day. On her wedding day, Sarah uses the My Wedding app to stay organized and calm. She uses the app to manage her guest list, communicate with her vendors, and track her wedding day timeline. She also uses the app to share photos with her guests and create a digital wedding album to remember. I'm always shocked when I read these. It's like, oh yeah, digital wedding album. Just, right? It's totally current with what people are doing. Now I'm going to get a little bit fancier. Now I'm going to do, this might take a typical person days to do again, what I'm going to do in the next couple of minutes. I work in agile software development. So how to build these. We'd like to break a problem down, like my wedding, into something called user stories. These are things the users do that deliver value to them. So I'm like, write 10 user stories for the agile team building this app. Include story numbers and a value rating using typical Fibonacci agile numbers. I won't even go into what that means. Some of you who are watching.
I'm such a Fibonacci girl.
I am a Fibonacci. So that's very common. And also explain why you gave it that value rating. Put this all in a table format. Go. This is something that a team might work on for hours or days. And there we are. Again, it's fun using 3.5. As a busy professional, I want to be able to easily find Michigan-specific vendors on the app so I can plan my wedding efficiently. It gave that a value rating of 8. The explanation: finding Michigan-specific vendors quickly and efficiently is important for the user. They have a high speed, they have a high need for convenience and want to avoid wasting time searching for vendors. And on it goes, coming up with these different ideas with different value ratings. Here's one at 13. As a do-it-yourself bride, I want to be able to create a custom wedding design on the app so that I can bring my vision to life. I want to be able to connect with local vendors who can provide Michigan-inspired services. As a destination bride, it even has these different personas inside of it. So there's like the first 10 user stories. It has a description of why it gave them their various value ratings. I could just go to it, write 10 more user stories. This would again take my team of 2 or 3 hours and hours working together. 6, 17, 18, sometimes it writes a little long. So all right, write 10 more user stories. These are all unique. These are all different. If you lay these out, you can begin to have a conversation about which is more valuable, which is less valuable, which might I want to do. By the way, it's also just imagining your product for you. If you can't already see how the world is about to change, hey, it's now listed like 30 some user stories. I've even lost track. It's got the count at 28. Given the value ratings, which 10 user stories of all those listed should I implement first? Put the answers in a table. I'll let it sort. This is doing something most people who build software don't do. They don't prioritize by value.
Yeah.
Here are the ones it thinks are most valuable. It's got even the number from the original ones. I could have asked it to give an explanation for why it listed them in this order. Put them in exact sequence and tell me why you think which one should be first. I'm going to do something else, though. We're on limited time. And I'm just trying to show folks how crazy this world is. Add a column for acceptance criteria to the table. This is another thing we typically do, which is acceptance criteria is what do I want you to show me when you implement this story? Zim, zoom, done. This is just an area I happen to be done in. I know this takes weeks normally to do. Anything you're working on, if you begin to think about this tool this way, you'll discover it can do these things. What do I do? I'm going to do I'm going to keep going forward. There's acceptance criteria. Let me read one. The user should be able to, as a do-it-yourself bride, I want to be able to connect with local vendors who can provide Michigan-inspired. The user should be able to easily find and connect with Michigan-based vendors who provide service that align with their personal styles and preference. I don't actually like the way it's writing that. I could redo my prompt and get it to write even better acceptance criteria. I'm going to wait and do that. I'm going to now move forward to, I don't know, let's program this thing. Why wait around for a team? I don't have to hire a programmer. Create an advanced style guide using the persona as the primary example. This is stuff Bella loves to do. Here's a color palette.
Absolutely. Branding is my area.
Right? Ivory palette, soft gray, deep blue, gold. I think you would even approve of those. It suggests typography.
I do.
You can have an interrogative with it to adjust this. Bella knows she could ask questions and prompts to get it. When 4 fully comes out, it's going to have a way to literally render these for you, and you can see it in real time. So now I'm going to ask another question. And we're using OpenAI. I'm only using OpenAI 4 or 3. It gets 3.5. It gets better at 4. What would be a good language and open source tool to use to create in this website? One which OpenAI can program. Now there's limitations, especially on 3.5. It says, hey, one of the languages, lists JavaScript, Python, Ruby. I also happen to know it knows Django. I'm going to say, which user story would you implement first? Based on the value ratings, the user story that would implement first is story number 2 as a do-it-yourself bride. And then I'm going to go, great. Write code into Django to start implementing that user story. The typical programmer, even in big companies, writes about 10 lines of code a day. 10 lines of good debug code. Like that number doesn't. Here we go. Bum, bada, bum, bada, bum. Here's the code for actually implementing this. There's a code for actually doing a wedding design form. There's a code for creating the design. But I'm an advanced agilist, so I know I don't ever just stop. I don't, people are like, it doesn't write good code. Great, neither do most of my software developers. So what I tell my software developers to do is write an automated unit testing framework. So I'm going to tell it to do that. Great, write automated unit tests. And it's like, here's how you set up the testing framework. Here's how you install the code. Here is the first test that we would implement. This is a way so that every time it writes code, it writes tests to validate the code. You know how you make code better in real time? You ask it to, you write more tests.
Yeah.
Right. Recommend 5 additional tests.
And actually, just on that, where Tom just said, recommend 5 additional tests, asking ChatGPT to recommend ways to improve itself is a really useful tool. So for instance, you might put in a prompt, generate XYZ, then get to the end of that, and then your next prompt might be to come up with 3 ideas for how to improve what ChatGPT just wrote for XYZ. Get it to do the heavy lifting. Where your critical thinking skills comes in, though, is analyzing what it has produced, because it is getting better and better and better day by day, whether it's 3.5, whether it's 4, whether it's other software applications, whatever, but it does still very effectively lie through its teeth at times. And so you do need to have your critical thinking skills in place. Tom, we have about 90 seconds to wrap it up. Back over to you.
Every single prompt that we did, every single response is a chance for critical thinking. It's a chance for prompting. You can ask ChatGPT to critique its own last answer. You can ask it to blend answers. You can ask it to add in new questions. What we've seen here, and we could continue on. I could, without even having worked in this language, if I spent maybe a day getting up to speed on the skills, I could do design, implementation, deploy, and demonstrate this working to get it in front of real users and test it. Working by myself with ChatGPT, with a critical thinking lens,
in no
do
time
the work that I would have used a team of 5 to 10, 2 to 3 months to do. And I think I can do it in a day.
Yeah.
That's where the world is moving to. Yeah. And if it's true in this particularly challenging field, I'm guessing it's true in whatever you are doing in your field, those who are watching this video today.
Which is why it's also really, really important to get your people involved with coming up with the solutions, focusing on the solutions, focusing on where your company is going to be, not the problems, not focusing on, if your company is downsizing, not focusing on if you're reducing your resources or whatever, which so many companies are. No, looking at this as an amazing time in history and focusing on what can we do, where can we go. So
that's
Tom,
Bella's program that I sell and teach. It's entirely focused on getting really collaborative groups of 20 together and leveraging a tool like ChatGPT. Imagine using 4 instead of 3.5 for what I just did.
Oh, both.
Leveraging these tools to get insights and vision for positive change for your organization, positive change with a positive ROI. And now we stop talking about downsizing. Instead, we talk about the amazing future that gets unleashed by a tool like this in your organization.
Yeah. So we have to. You have time for one quick 30-second finish. 30-second
finish. It's like, don't stop applying this tool. I'm sorry, I did an Keep applying this tool daily. Each new idea that comes into your head, apply this tool, see what it works like, see what it does. Somebody last week was like, I don't know how to apply these tools. They sent us an email and we're like, that's why we're encouraging you to
get
just
in there and do it
daily.
Exactly. We have to go
daily.
Exactly. We have to go. Bye. We'll see you later.
Bye.
And what is artificial intelligence?
Artificial intelligence.
State-of-the-art artificial intelligence.
What are you talking about? Artificial intelligence?
No. It's a fundamental spiritual issue with artificial intelligence.
And this is the artificial intelligence designed to cut down on fraud and unpaid charges.
What if the blue fairy is an electronic parasite that has arisen to haunt the minds of artificial intelligence?
The same artificial intelligence you encountered in the hive.
The final human invention, AI, artificial intelligence.